What's going on, my fam sizzles? So good to have you here today. Thank you so much for stopping by, and thank you so much for enjoying the podcast. So let's go ahead and get into it. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about playlist assembly and just the idea of like when you put a playlist together, especially for your wedding, just to make sure that you put all your favorite songs in there, but then also you want to add some like favorites from like friends and family. So I would say 70% your music and then 30% their music, just to appease. So, and then once the playlist is done, what I do is I will look over the playlist and just look over all the songs in there. And for the party playlist, I always just like kind of scan it really quick and I go, okay, these songs based on, 200 previous weddings that I've DJ'd, I'd say here's probably the top 50 songs right here that would work for pretty much any crowd. And then you kind of look at it and you say, okay, well, what versions are going to work for this crowd? Does this crowd like a lot of like guitars in their music? Does this crowd like more instruments of like more drums, or is this an electronic crowd? Like what kind of crowd is this? So I'll kind of like look at it that way. And then a big thing with like Spotify playlists or any playlist in general is that some of these songs are great for like the radio, for your car, for turning them on, cleaning the house. I don't know, whatever you do with music and stuff. But they might not be best, like a full 5 minute version of a song might not be best for a dance floor. So I always download special edits of songs. I recently downloaded a best of the 2000s DJ pack, and it basically gave me like a minute and a half version of like a popular song from the 2000s, and then it gave me a 3 minute version of a popular song from the 2000s, and then you can mix in and out of those songs based on how long the song is. So like maybe the song only has a minute and a half in it if it's in a hot moment on the dance floor, versus like, this is perfect. We're just kind of cooling off for a little bit. Play the 3 minute version. That's fine. But if it's a hot dance floor, you want to like keep the beats moving, keep the music moving. So that's always a good thing I like to do. I like to make sure I have DJ versions of everything, clean, explicit, remixes, shortened versions. Sometimes I just need the hook of a song and then I can get out. Um, and then also like I have a great version of "Don't Stop Believin'" by Journey that I found, and it's a remix, and it's more like upbeat. It's more party because the original is cool, but it starts out really slow and it kind of builds. But if you want to get a dance floor like hot, like right off the second, you want everybody singing to a song everybody knows and loves, you put the remix on, and it amps up the whole night. So it's nice the originals, and you can always listen to the originals anywhere, but if it's on a dance floor and it's hot, sometimes I'll take like certain songs and I'll just use like the hook from a regular version of a song, and I'll just use that to like get everybody to sing along to something that everyone knows, but might not know the rest of the song, but just knows the hook. And so remix versions, little sections of songs are like really important, but a good playlist, like a good solid playlist, see if you can find versions that aren't always the 5 minute version, but maybe find a 3.5 minute radio edit of the version, something that's a little more like accessible. And even if people is not one of their favorite songs, you can still you can slip it in there and move it along. It's fine. Um, Now, putting slower songs in is always a little bit tricky. Now, the thing that I love about slower songs, and it depends on the crowd, it depends on the couple, it depends if there's a lot of married couples in the audience at the wedding. If there is, I always suggest throwing on a slow song for the people that don't like to fast dance, the people that don't always get out on the dance floor. They can do a slow dance and they can enjoy the moment as a couple. So it's always a nice touch to have a couple slow songs in there. But with the slow songs, make sure that they're songs everybody knows and loves for the most part, and they can sing to them. If you have a slow song everybody can sing to, it can really create a magical moment um, with the couples, and as well as everybody else that maybe not be a couple, but they're on the sidelines. They're like, "Oh, I love this song. This is great." So anything that kind of gets everybody excited for a slow song is great. Also, a song that has like a deep meaning to you or has a meaning within like your friends and family. That's always a great like choice to pick as well. When it's great to have mix of everything. Oh, so I love open format mixing, and all that simply means is like music from every era. And I have remixes from every era that normally you would never play this song, or you'd be like, "Eh, that song's okay," but you hear this remix of it and it's like, "Wow, that's amazing." Like, I love how they just, like, enhance the energy. I love the hook, but the rest of the song, I don't know, but they were able to really amp up the energy in that remix. So I always say take some risks too. Like, I found when I DJ, and sometimes I'll just be like talking to the planner or be talking to the bartender, and they're like, "Hey, can you say last call in like an hour?" And I'll be like, "I got you, no problem." And then I'll be like, "Oh no, I got to get this next song switched over." And sometimes you'll just pick a song really quick and you'll just play it. And then all of a sudden it's like that song you didn't really think about, but it just kind of instinctively came to you, will sometimes light up a dance floor more than overthinking what to play next. So, something to think about is just a good mix of everything. Sometimes, like the same like genre for like an hour straight is a bit much, but if you can kind of switch it up a little bit, throw some surprises in there, throw some classics in there, throw a new song in there, maybe everybody knows and loves all of a sudden. Yeah, you got to do that kind of stuff. Um, yeah, why nothing beats experience. So if you played a lot of weddings like I have, you start to see like certain patterns in people, how people dance, the moves they dance to, jumping up and down versus like the sway versus you know, Macarena, whatever, Cupid Shuffle, whatever. But even beyond songs everybody knows and line dance songs, there's something about studying excuse me, there's something about studying crowds year after year, wedding after wedding, and just kind of watching how they move to certain songs. And something that I learned long ago is a song, a genre, it's how it makes you move. So whatever genre it is particularly how people are gonna move during the night. Now, if there's a genre you don't like, you're probably going to exit the dance floor, go do something else because you don't know how to move to the song, or you don't like to move to a song in that way. Like, look, if you're older and you're trying to jump up and down and you're like, "Oh, my back is hurting now," like, oh, maybe that's not the right genre for you. So within that, there are songs that no matter what your age, any age will dance to, even if it's a jump up and down song. So having the experience to know that is really important on just keeping people on the dance floor, as well as like with certain songs, like you do have to introduce them and you do have to like kind of warm people up to the idea of what kind of songs coming up next, or even just add a little hype in there, like get some interaction from the crowd, like I don't know, the idea of just pushing play on a song and walking away, that sounds just kinda artificial. I don't know, I mean, if you're hiring a wedding DJ, you're hiring them to bring out their personality, to bring out the energy, to bring out their show, their flair, their personality, all that good stuff. So, yeah, I think nothing beats experience just with anything. Like, if you've been doing something for 5, 6, 7 years versus you just started 6 months ago, I mean, there's a lot more experience there, and I think experience comes with a little bit of a little extra you have to pay for, and I don't think that's an issue at all. Like, I don't mind paying a little extra to have services done for me, especially if I know it's somebody experienced and I know they've been doing it and they love it and they're really good at it. Hey, I'm gonna pay a little more for that experience. So, um, always be prepared and practiced. So something that I've learned too is like when going through playlists with couples and everything, like understanding like preparing your set list. So what I'll do is I'll create folders, like playlist folders in my DJ software, and I'll go within genres of these because what might happen is, hey, we want to listen to Latin right now, and you're like, okay, which ones are Latin? So what I do is I go in from their playlist. I will make sure that I download every song, load it into my DJ software, and then I will put all the Latin songs in a Latin folder. And then from that, I'll have the high tempo Latin folder, and then I'll have the like medium tempo, and then I'll have the slow jams, a little bit slower. because what I find is it's like, "Hey, can you play some upbeat Latin?" "Got you, no problem." Versus, I don't know, I got 30 seconds left on this song, I gotta switch over the song, I don't know what to do." So, being prepared is really important, and I do that with all the genres, hip hop, you can do new school, like trap hop, and then you can do old school, like 2000s hip hop, 90s hip hop, um, dance pop, all that kinda stuff. Like, I have all those folders just, like, locked and loaded, ready to go. And then also, I'll put a little, like, note on the songs. Each of the songs that usually always work, I'll put a little note on that and just be like, "Hey, this is the one you should grab before the other ones." So, that helps me prepare. The software has, like, play counts, but play counts are only so good. Marking off, like, a song really works, and, like, you're like, "Hey, how did they know that song?" Like, if I was to look at them face like, if I was looking at somebody in the audience face value, I would say, "Well, maybe they'll like the song." You'd be surprised, man. People have different tastes in music, and certain songs affect people in ways that you would never expect. So, I always make a little note on every song, and I just have the ability to, like, bring those notes up and bring those songs up really fast if I need to. So, always be prepared, always be practiced. I do a weekly mix to keep myself practiced. So I will assemble genres from every era, from the 1960s all the way up to the 2020s, organize these folders. I will create 1 hour like DJ like sets and everything like that. I'll record them, I'll mix them, I'll master them. I'll record my voice over the top. I'll do a little narration on that like a radio host. And the reason I do that is so that I stay practiced. I can keep going through all these different genres, all these different artists, and I'm always like thinking about these artists. I'm always thinking about these genres, and it'll keep you really sharp and really prepared in any moment. Like, yeah, play this part of the song and then get out. Like play a little bit of it there, and then mix it into this song, and then do those kind of things. So that's why it's always important to be prepared and practiced. Why a lot of DJs don't like requests. I understand this one. Like I hear a lot of couples like when we talk in our first meeting or you know even through email, and a lot of couples will be like, "Do you take requests? Is that cool?" Because we were talking to a couple DJs, they say no requests, absolutely not. And I've talked to other people too. They said, "Oh yeah, my daughter got married and they hired some DJs and they wouldn't do any requests and they wouldn't let them choose any of the music. It was all their own." They were like, "This is our playlist. This is what we play from." And I get that because you want to be like I was just talking about, prepared and practiced. And like if you have a set list and you have 1 hour, you know exactly what songs you're gonna play. You have a whole routine going with everything. And then somebody comes up and says, "Hey, I want to hear this song," and it's a completely different genre, a completely different vibe than what you're trying to build towards, what you're trying to do. And they come in and they say, "Hey, you got to play this song," and it's like, I don't know how to fit it in there. Now it's going to be all over the place. It's going to be crazy and stuff. But what I found is like some of the best nights are the ones where the requests start coming in and everybody's just having a great time with every song. And I'll always announce, I'll be like, "Hey, we got a request that just came in," because like if the song bombs, then it's like everybody's like, "Oh, it was a request, so whatever." And then if it's not working, you just play a little of it. You play a minute of it. Like I said, going back to having those special edits where you can play a minute of a song, and it's like, I think a minute will be fine. We can just kind of mix it in, mix it out. Now, I love taking requests for that reason. I feel like requests, like if you're cool as a bride and groom to have requests at your wedding, that is pretty cool. Like, that means your audience is gonna, like, throw some interesting requests, and I'll always be in the meeting. I'll be like, "Well, so it says you're okay with requests, like, from guests. Like, everything goes? Like, you're cool with everything?" And most of the time, they're like, "Yeah, we're fine." I'm like, "Okay, cool." I said, "As long as we're cool with everything, I just gotta know these things. You never know, couple drinks, guests might request some interesting stuff." So, I'm always on board because it's a celebration. It's about fun. That's what we're here to celebrate love. We're here to celebrate you guys as a couple. Let's go off. On the other hand, there are some couples that don't want requests because some of their friends and family may request some stuff that's a little, and I also think there are certain songs you don't wanna hear at your wedding, and I get that, you know? And if you listen to a lot of different music and, like, certain songs just annoy you, you're like, "Please don't play that song. I don't want it to feel like a middle school dance. Please don't make my wedding feel that way. I understand that. But on the other hand, if you have a lot of kids and they're into that kind of stuff, like, and if you're not a dancer, like if you're a couple that's just like, well, we're just gonna entertain our guests with a DJ, so please play whatever. That's totally cool too. And then you just appease the kids, you appease everybody there. Excuse me. So I love taking requests, but I also am very cautious if a couple is not okay with requests. So there's that. um, so I kind of got into the request, but I want to get a little bit more into like why I love requests. We're in an era now where any song is available to us. It doesn't matter. Like in the last 10 years, everything has shifted. Like it used to be like if you study all of music, like music was a premium. Like 30, 40 years ago, music was a premium. Like you kind of had to be rich to like own a big collection of music. You had a little CD, you pay $20, you maybe get one or two songs you really like. And that's about it. You buy some vinyl, $25, you may get a couple songs you really like. You can buy the singles, those are $10. Now, keep in mind, this is before inflation. This is the 90s, the 80s. Do all your research on music. Music was expensive. We got into the early 2000s. Napster came along. Everybody, college kids, they were all downloading music as fast as they could on their little 56K modems, and they'd get a song in about an hour. And there you go. You get your little MP3 player, you load it up, you get a CD, you burn a CD, whatever. And that's where music was starting to go. So then it got to the point where like Apple's like, hey, we gotta jump in here. You gotta pay $1.30 a song now. Like legally you can do that, right? $1.30 a song. Whether you're gonna pay $1, $2 a song, we'll give you the song, an album, same price, $15. You don't get the physical media, but you get it and it's convenient. Well, right around the late 2000s, 2007, 8, 9, 10, YouTube was introduced. They started putting music videos up there on YouTube. And then what's the one by Psy, Gangnam Style? That was like one of the first billion. Now, like pretty much you got to have a billion views to be credible as a song on YouTube nowadays. But 10, 15 years ago, it was a big deal to have a billion views. And you can stream everything, whatever. You watch a commercial, whatever. So this is why like people's experience with music has continually changed and it will continually change. And I feel like people have a unique experience with their friends and family with certain songs that I would probably not know. Now, that being said, you figure out how to work those songs into the list. That's why I love requests because we live in an era you can get a song like that. You don't have to go down to a record shop. You don't have to download it. Here it is. Here's the song. Grab the link, listen to it. That whole thing. So we live in an era now where convenience is definitely not a premium as it used to be. So that's a good thing. And then why DJing is a shared experience. I've always had the philosophy that if I get to the point where I have an attitude of being, this is my set and this is me and I'm just going to play what I want to play tonight and you're going to feel it, then please don't let me DJ anymore because it's a shared experience. It's about everybody coming together, feeling the music. It's about emotion. It's about, wow, I had an extra drink and I got a little crazy and I had the best night of my life. That's what it's about. It's about everyone just being like, you know what? I forgot where I was for a moment. I got lost in that moment. And to me as a DJ, like as a wedding DJ, everything is about emotion. And for you to feel that emotion as a human with all your friends and family and to share that emotion together, that's probably one of the most like powerful human connections we can have. So, um, that's why DJing is a shared experience. All right, guys, I think I've talked enough. Let me know if you have any more questions or let me know any topics that you'd love me to talk about on the podcast. I am always happy to share anything. As always, make sure you like, subscribe, share, tell a friend. Yeah, and you can always connect with me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, pretty much all the socials that are the big five. So, all right, we will talk to you next time.